USA.gov/meals for kids. And let's make sure all the kids are fed. You know, Larry, a lot of people have these concerns that they want to stay at home, but they may need medical care. They need to go to the ER for other reasons, and be afraid to do this, and may not even go out of fear. Yeah. In fact, a survey at 9 major hospitals earlier this month showed that the number of severe heart attacks being treated in U.S. hospitals had dropped by nearly 40% since the virus took hold in March. Yeah. They're concerned about that. And here to break it down for us is trauma surgeon and vice chief of staff at St. Mary's Medical Center, Dr. Mario Hillebrand, a.k.a. Dr. Mo. Welcome, Dr. Mo. Welcome.
How's it going? Yeah, my first name is Mauricio, which is kind of complicated, so that's why I just drink it to Mo.
I see. Mauricio. Thank you, Dr. Mo. Mauricio! Welcome to our show. Yeah, Dr. Mo. Dr. Mo. So some of the things that we just addressed, have you seen a decline in patients coming in to treat for medical emergencies?
Yeah, overall, the number of patients coming in for emergencies that are unrelated to COVID and that are more medical. Now, I do a lot of trauma, so people are still getting in car accidents, people are still getting shot, that's still happening. But you're absolutely right in terms of the heart attacks, the medical emergencies. We're seeing a trend down, and that's going to be one of the more interesting things that comes out of the research a couple of years from now when we kind of look back at all this stuff.
So there are certain risks involved by these people avoiding the ER, correct?
Oh, absolutely. There is that fear
Your house is amazing.
I'm going to go to the hospital, and that's like where COVID is, and I don't want to go there. When the reality is, if you need to go, you go. If you would have had to go before, you should go now. There's a little bit of common sense that we need to use here, and we know that's pretty rare nowadays. But there are some of the first responders, the people in the hospital that are exposed, may have lower infection rates than we expected, which means the mask, the distancing, that sort of stuff will work. It means we're taking away precautions and doing the right thing. But positively, it means it is safe to go to the hospital.
And in fact, don't you take the Johnson hospitals take pretty good precautions. They have areas set aside that people come in. Can you tell us a bit about that for your hospital?
Yeah, we got started pretty early, which was, you treat everybody like they have COVID. I mean, this is scary stuff. And we were treating it seriously from the beginning. So yes, isolation, taking patients that may or may not have COVID and treating them as if they did separately, the testing, the keeping them away from other patients. Yeah, let's say somebody comes in a car accident. You don't separate them. You treat them as if they're a car accident patient with extra precautions. So that means we would take higher precautions, gloves, masks, protection, that sort of stuff. Doing the same for the patient, putting a mask on the patient. So yeah, we can make this up on the fly. And the fact that we're doing it is pretty cool.
Yeah, seriously, makes a lot of sense. And so what do people do? Let's say they are in a car accident, they're going to the ER, or they feel testing, things like that. What do they do en route to the ER? Let's say they're driving in there. Do they wear masks? What kind of precautions do they take?
Pretty much everybody nowadays has a mask or something. That can depend. Wear a mask anyway. But if you're not sick, focus on yourself and go to the ER. Call ahead if you want to. That's what I've been telling people to do is call your primary care doctor, call your insurance plan, call whoever you need to call initially, and start the process going. If you're going to the ER, call the ER worker. They're going to help you once you get there. Do you have any symptoms? Is there anything, because people forget, just because COVID is here doesn't mean nothing else is happening. People are still getting sick. People are still having COVID. And what I do to tell people is, don't sit at home. If you need to go, go.
Yeah, and so if someone has that reluctance to the point where they just don't go, and they're suffering in some kind of unusual or immense pain, like an appendix attack, What risk are they taking by balking or not going?
Significant risk. In fact, there was an article a month ago that said there's a hospital in Seattle that had the same number of ruptured appendix patients as they did COVID because so many people were waiting. Yeah, so the risks can be alarming, and many of them can be mitigated by a simple phone call, by a simple discussion. In fact, our hospital has virtual consulting. You can log on, talk to somebody online, go over the stuff, maybe even show them a wound or describe your symptoms, and at least get a second, like somebody else, a Jiminy Cricket on your shoulder.
Yeah, that's nice. And where is St. Mary's? Can you give us the lay of the land there?
Yeah, I'm in Southern California. So St. Mary's is Long Beach, sort of closer to the water, down by the end of the 710 freeway. It's one of the two main hospitals in Long Beach Memorial and St. Mary's.
So, John,
That's right.
Before we got on the air, you were indicating that you've been working non-stop every day. One day you took off, right?
Yeah, it was my birthday. My wife made me take that off. But yeah, I remember I took the day off for the Oscars, which was February 9th. I wanted to sit at home and just watch the Oscars. And since then, because I'm a general surgeon, a trauma surgeon, a vascular surgeon, I'm involved at the medical staff level, it's all hands on deck. And I understand what your caller said about you feel kind of guilty staying home because this is kind of what we're supposed to do. This is what we're built for.
It's kind of all hands on deck kind of thing. Yeah. And we were talking about, if someone's not going to watch our YouTube of this, but the listeners should know that you're sitting there in scrubs right now. You're ready to go right now.
I'm ready to go. I was ready to go, but I had a surgery this morning, but now all elective surgeries, as a precaution, must be COVID tested.
That makes sense.
It does, but one of our problems is that inherent problem with testing. They're not reliable, and they don't come back in a timely fashion. It's not a criticism. It's hard to understand for people that we didn't even know what this existed 6 months ago. We didn't even know this existed 6 months ago. It's a new thing. We had to create tests for it. So we're trying to be patient. It's understandable. The patients have been great. We'll get through this. It's going to happen. We'll get better.
We're Larry and Rob Mandel, the brothers-in-law, here on Go Country 105. Do you have a legal issue you need help with? We want to hear from you. Find us on Instagram and send us a message. Then tune in on Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on Go Country 105.
From all of us on the Brothers-in-Law Show, we want to give a big thank you to these sponsors who we've partnered with to help honor our local heroes and groups for going above and beyond for their community. We'd like to thank Ralph's, Whole Foods, Target, and Chipotle. Thank you for all you do in our community.
The tests have evolved. I've had it twice now, and the first time was with the nose, and the second time was with the mouth. What testing is now being done, and is it more reliable?
Oh, geez. The testing is they roto-rooter your nose, they swab the back of your mouth, they prick your finger, they take blood. And some of the sicker patients, they're actually, once you're on a ventilator, they'll go into your lungs and sort of wash out some of the deep stuff in your lung and suck that stuff out. The honest answer is we're trying to find it in as many places as we can to try to get some sort of a sense of what's going on. Again, we're living in the middle of a research study. We're figuring stuff out every day. So the best advice I can give is if you think you need a test, get tested. If it's negative and you feel good, you're probably fine. If it's negative and you don't feel good, keep checking and talk with your doctor. And we'll do it anyway. Trust me, the doctors are starting to get sensitive enough that we're repeating tests. We're being vigilant. We're trying to get to the bottom of a lot of the stuff.
And why is it that the testing takes, a few days or whatnot? Is it that they have to grow the virus in like a petri dish or something like that?
No, it depends on what. See, there's so many different types of tests, and there's only so many places that can do it. We're just so used to everything being easy.
Yeah.
A problem now, it's hard to describe that if you swab your nose, you treat that different than if you do a pinprick on your finger. And that gets treated different than a blood test where you put in a test tube. It all gets handled different, it all gets processed different, and it gives us different information. So putting that all together right now is really difficult because people need to know that right now. So but like I said, we're getting
Three-time
there.
Grammy winner was an American
The more
icon, a member of the
data we
Rock
get,
and Morning for
better
Tom
information
Petty,
we
who
can give
died
you.
overnight at the age
And
of
so,
6.
Doc, you're a trauma
His
surgeon,
music
and you'll be seeing patients like appendicitis and hernias.
Sort of. I'm also a general surgeon, and the general surgeon is the one that does the appendicitis, the hernias, the gallbladders, that sort of stuff. But as a trauma surgeon, I see the car accidents, the gunshot wounds, the fall down, crack their skulls open, the fights, the assaults, the drunk people that fall off bar stools and break their whatever. I mean, trauma surgeons have to live inside the hospital. So 4 to 6 times a month, I go to the hospital 8 in the morning, I don't leave till 8 in the morning the next day. I mean, every one of us can do that. And that's one of the functions of the trauma center. So that's the type of patient. When I'm wearing my trauma hat, that's the type of people I see.
And how long have you been doing that? Because, Larry and I, we've been dealing with trauma patients, so to speak, for 30 plus years each. And of course, we see these folks after they're pretty much out of the hospital and whatnot. But I can see how that would be quite a challenge to deal with one severely injured person after another. How do you do it?
I think it's genetic. I've done this. I've been a trauma surgeon since '98, but my dad was one of the original kind of guys doing it in Long Beach, and he was at the hospital for 50 years.
How about that?
So, and if I'm going to be kind of nerdy here, I grew up loving comic books, and if there's an element of me that I was always wanted to be a superhero, I don't spin webs, I don't fly, but my little tiny superpower is I guess I can help the occasional person. So there is a bit of that too. I do like that sort of immediacy. There's not a lot of BS if you think about it. You just help people. A lot of times I don't even know their name. You just help them, and that's really appealing to me.
Well, yeah, I'd like to nominate him as one of our heroes right now.
Yeah. Actually, thank you, and that's really cool. But this is what I'm built for. I mean, I take a hero as like the postman who saved somebody's life, or the grocery store person that. This is cool. I get to be a doctor now. I like this. I mean,
that's a great attitude. It's a fantastic attitude because, I know a lot of guys in the medical field who have done trauma as like a rotation, or they did it as part of their residency. And once they got their residency status, boy, that last thing they wanted to do was any more trauma at a hospital. Just tremendous burnout.
It is hard, but the burnout for me isn't the trauma because I mix it with vascular surgery in general. I try to be, a little bit more diverse, and I think it makes me a better doctor. The burnout isn't coming from the work. There's joy in the work. The burnout is from your hospital administrators. Your burnout is from the rules and regulations that have nothing to do. Your burnout is from people that don't trust you nowadays because everybody's questioning doctors and care and science and medicine when honestly, we're just trying to do the right thing.
Absolutely.
Well stated.
Have you suffered or been injured by someone else's negligence? When you need a legal team that will stand up for what is right, won't give up the fight and obtain justice, call 818-886-6600. Mandel Trial Lawyers specializes in personal injury cases of all types. Whether it's a car accident, product or premises liability, dog bite, or a catastrophic injury, Mandel Trial Lawyers are there for you when the fight is worth it. Call now for your free consultation. 818-886-6600. Let the scales of justice